We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Liv Hatfield. How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's Wednesday, which I'm never like this upbeat on a Wednesday. Maybe it was the Pepsi I drank 20 minutes ago. I don't know. So
Yeah, I get that.
so you're up in Chicago. How's Chicago treating you?
Cold. Definitely cold. I was in like Alabama right now. That'd be better. Tennessee, even.
Yeah.
Just anywhere better is.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I can't even say that Tennessee would be that much better. So
anything's better than Chicago at this moment.
fair, very fair, very fair. And so you're born and raised in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. Where'd you kind of get your introduction to music? Was it something that you just kind of found on your own? Was your family like, how'd you get introduced to music?
Well, ever since I was little, I've always had a love for music, like for as long as I can remember. And my parents recognized that I loved it. So they put me into music lessons in third grade. And then I started adding on guitar lessons. And then I started performing out in the community at open mics and performances through my program that I take lessons at. And then that's how I met my producer, Mr. David Norris. So
Nice. And is he down in Nashville or is he in the Chicagoland area?
yes, he is down in Nashville.
Gotcha. How often have you been going down to Nashville, or how long have you been going down there?
Since a little bit over a year, I'd say I've been going down with working with him.
Yeah. Nice. And is the aspiration like once you get done with school and stuff like that to eventually move down to Nashville?
I haven't really thought that far ahead at the moment. I'm just trying to get through freshman year at this point.
Fair, very fair. You know, you're just entering high school and it's just kind of like you got this blossoming career thing going on and it's like, but I got to focus on getting this thing done, but I don't want to give up on this.
Right, yes,
Very fair.
exactly.
Very fair. So you're wrapping up your freshman year. How's that whole experience been with music and everything?
Busy, very busy. I mean, they give us a lot of assignments, but I've been able to handle it all because of my good support system.
Yeah.
But it's also hard because I play competitive volleyball too. So
Nice.
I just have to juggle everything. But thankfully, I have good time management. So
Yeah. Nice.
busy.
I mean, I feel like once you get past your junior year, like that senior year, at least when I was in high school, they always told me your senior year was or your junior year was your hardest year. And then once you kind of get senior year, as long as you didn't screw up the first 3 years, senior year is kind of chill.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
but
That is my part.
you've got 2 more years ahead of you before you get to that point. So,
Yeah.
no, it's cool. And so do a lot of your friends at school know that you do music and play music, or is that something that you kind of keep on the back burner?
Yeah, they know.
Okay.
My birthday was in October, and all my friends came to school with this shirt that has my face on it and all my songs on the back that I was selling at Corn Boil, which is like a Sugar Grove festival up here in summer. And I was like, oh no. Oh, really?
Right.
But
It's one of those things where it's like trying to keep it a little bit separate, but I appreciate it. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. Nice. And so you just released a new single Friday. Yeah, 10th was Friday.
Yeah.
I had to do math in the back of my head really quick. I was like, wait a minute. 10th? Wow. Okay. That was
Don't
already
worry,
Friday.
I'm in the same boat.
Right. How's the release of that been going? How's the reception been?
It's been pretty easy. I mean, I have just been reading like into it a bit, And all of my friends are like, "Oh my gosh, I love this song." Like my cousin even texted me saying, "This is my new favorite song of yours." And I've just been getting a lot of positive feedback from friends and family. So, yeah, it's good.
Nice. And so the name of the song is Yet. What's the story behind it?
Well, I had a Zoom meeting with Mr. Ron Grimes, who was a writer on it. He's worked with Leanne Rhymes, which I find so cool. And we kind of just talked for an hour or so, and he talked to me about the business, and we decided that we wanted to write a song about how, like, I'm young and the pressures of finding a
Yeah.
relationship at this young age, but knowing that I'm excited to find the person I'm going to marry, but I haven't met them yet. So it kind of is why it's called Yet.
Fair. Very fair. During that conversation or meeting or writing session, whatever you want to call it, did he give you like any little insights into the industry, or was it pretty much more focused on like just writing and that was just one of the conversations you had?
Well, we we all kind of wrote it together, me, Neil Schuyler, and Mr. Ron Grimes.
Hmm.
But the Zoom call was mainly just him talking to me about the business
Yeah.
and that the fact of you should be in the music business for the love of music and
Yeah.
not for the want of fame and money.
Yeah.
And I could not agree with that more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. It was like a an actual conversation about the industry instead of like jumping right into songwriting and just doing that, but kind of figuring out where your true intentions were. That's really cool.
Exactly.
So yet it's been out for 5 days. Did you do like a release show or anything for it, or you just been kind of promoting
Uh,
it?
I've just been kind of promoting it. I'm still kind of new to the
Yeah.
whole music thing. It's only
Right.
my third song, but I just have been releasing them, and then at like 11 o'clock Central East Time, I have been posting a video on my socials being like, go look at Yeah, it's out now. Like it's on all
Nice.
platforms. So
That's really cool. And you'd meant obviously you just mentioned that this is your third song. Are you building towards like a bigger project, or are you kind of just like the idea of singles right now?
well, at the moment, I have 6 songs in all
Yeah.
recorded and ready to be published, but they're all going to be released as singles until the last one, and then they're going to be released as an EP.
Yeah.
It was kind of a project that me and Mr. David Norris had worked on for like a year,
Yeah.
and now I'm really excited to share it with the world. So.
Nice. Nice. I was actually going to ask you, did you write with the intention of them all being kind of a bigger project, or did it just kind of come together naturally?
It kind of came together naturally.
Yeah.
We had the idea of doing 5 songs originally
Yeah.
and releasing it all as an EP, but I ended up getting a lot of writing sessions and we could not choose between like any of the 6 songs.
Yeah.
So I we ended up doing a sixth one. So it kind of just came together like that.
Nice. Sometimes it just happens like that, where it's like you set off with the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna do 5 songs, and then that sixth one pops in, and it's like, well, dang it, I like this one too. I can't not
Yeah,
release it, you know.
exactly.
So, and I mean, at that point, a 5 song EP, a 6 song EP, it doesn't really matter. Like it's you're slicing hairs at that point. So,
Right.
um, so just kind of looking forward, where are you kind of at show wise right now? Are you playing pretty consistently, or
At the current moment, I'm kind of taking a little break from performances
yeah,
just because I'm trying to have a growing year this year with like my music theory and building on my voice and improving on my guitar and piano and just all of it in general. But I am performing soon, I believe, in April at Fret, which is like a
nice,
place downtown
yeah,
Yorkville. So.
nice, nice, nice. And do you find it like? are you just trying to figure out, like, obviously you mentioned you're trying to have a growing year, but are you trying to really figure out the balancing act between like your music, your school, competitive volleyball, your even just like having a personal life outside of music? Is that kind of the thought process behind it?
Well, a little bit, yes, but also just because I feel like I am getting to that level where I'm kind of expected to know things. And right now, I kind of don't know them. So I'd like to be able to
Yeah.
learn those things and be able to have like an actual conversation without being like, can you spell that out for me? You know?
Right, right. And I'm guessing that's just kind of getting more reps in as far as like recording and working down in Nashville, co-writes and stuff like that. I'm guessing that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yes, kind of.
Fair, fair. So outside of music, obviously school and volleyball, that seems probably takes up a lot of your time. What do you like to do with your friends? What are some hobbies outside of the industry just to kind of break the tension after a hard day writing music or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah. Well, music and volleyball really do take up my life,
Yeah.
but I cannot complain at all. I love them both. But with my friends, I always, sorry, I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I like to sometimes we go shopping together or we just have a sleepover and watch movies the whole time, or just sometimes I'll just FaceTime them and just talk to them about the day and catch
Right.
up with them.
Nice. Are you listening to anybody right now musically that's like kind of inspiring your creativity?
Well, at the moment, I've been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift because I believe she's an awesome entrepreneur
Yeah.
and I want to be that good someday.
Right?
I also think she's awesome with her lyrics because I like to read into lyrics and I love lyrics that make you think. And I think she does a great job with that. Same with Stevie Nicks. I've been listening to a lot of
Oh,
Fleetwood Mac
nice.
at the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
and I really like her lyrics too, as well as Kelly Clarkson and Adele, just because I feel like their voice is pretty similar to mine.
Yeah.
And also Kelly Clarkson's Heartbeat song was like my first like favorite song ever.
Nice.
And I would just play it whenever I was younger. And yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. It's I love the fact that you're kind of mixing in new school with a little bit of old school. Like it's hard to believe that Stevie Nicks is considered old school right now because she's still very active. And
Yeah.
but it's like she started playing music before I was even born, and I was born in the '80s. Like so, yeah. So
Yeah.
oh, but that's really cool. It's and would you say that they're kind of helping you mold the kind of sound you want to ultimately have with your music?
I'd say so. Yeah. I look up to a lot of artists. Like
Yeah,
I look up to Olivia Rodrigo, Bruno Mars. Like the list
yeah,
is long. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
right.
But I'd say all of the artists that are like out right now have helped mold me and are helping mold me
Yeah,
to become the artist that I would like to be someday.
yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. And um, as far as like you upcoming stuff, do you already know what single's coming out next, or is that still kind of to be determined?
Yeah, so the next single that I am dropping is called Unbreak a Heart, and it's going to be released on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
What's funny about it is that it's a breakup song, but but I mean it's kind of ironic. But
Right. It's that Taylor Swift kind of shining through there, ain't it?
yeah.
That's and how long? So you mentioned that like you wrote all these songs kind of together or in the same kind of headspace. How long ago did you start writing all these songs?
I would have to say, huh. I haven't really thought about how long it's been since
Yeah,
I wrote like When I Fly, which was like the first one we wrote.
yeah.
I'd have to say it was at least like 8 months ago, maybe.
Okay, gotcha.
I couldn't give you a definite answer on that though.
No, I was curious if it was like you were writing these when you were like way younger, like in 2021, 2022,
Oh,
somewhere in
no.
there. Yeah,
No.
fair. And so it's really cool. So this is like When I Fly, Familiar Stranger, yet these are like your first experiences in music and like your first, I don't want to say attempt because that sounds like you failed, but like your first, like, hey, this is who I am as a musician. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with these six songs, was there other songs that were just kind of in the mix as well, or was it just like you got to these six songs and it's like this is perfect, this is what I want, that's it?
I'm trying to
Like,
think back. I am so
yeah.
sorry.
No, you're good.
I think it was just those six songs
Okay.
because we had set up five writing sessions and then a sixth one was added. And that was when I was like, I love all these songs. I
Right.
can't just pick five.
Right.
So that's when we added the sixth.
Fair. 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 And I was just more curious if like if you were like writing songs from when you were like younger, like when you were like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that ballpark, and just kind of like using these as like, okay, these are kind of the best of like everything I've ever written. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, not really.
Okay.
I have written like some songs on my own, but it's just kind of hard for me just because I'm also very young with songwriting.
Yeah.
Um, but I've written like I'd say a good handful of songs, but I
Nice.
just haven't brought them up yet, but I
Hmm.
might.
Yeah. Completely understood. You know, it's one of those things where it's just kind of like when it's right, but you're also not stopping the creative process of putting music out. And you know, yes, there's songs that aren't that are just kind of put out there because you had a lyric in your head or you had a like a Kate like a solo or something in your head that was just kind of like, okay, I got to get this out and I got to figure out why it's stuck in my head. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just ends up being a song that you just had to get out of your head, you know. So and I think that's something that you'll kind of learn, especially going through the industry. It's like every once in a while, you're going to throw a song out there that I have no intention of recording or ever playing. I'm just trying to get it out of my head, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So, kind of looking forward, when's your next trip to Nashville, or are you kind of holding on that for a little bit until it warms up a little bit?
Well, right now, I don't believe there's any plans to come back down to Nashville at the
Yeah.
moment, but in the summer, I'm looking to come back down to record
Hmm.
more songs, so
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Nice. And where would you say you're at creatively right now? Obviously, you're in the process of releasing all this music, but would you say that you're kind of in a writing mood right now, or are you kind of solely focused on practicing and just kind of getting the current stuff out?
Right now, I'm just kind of like solely focused on like learning and getting the stuff out and just all of that type of stuff. Because I'm one of those people that can only really focus on one thing at a
Fair,
time.
fair,
So,
fair, fair, fair. It's one of those things where it's like, I understand, like 100% understand. Like sometimes you
yeah.
just got to do what you got to do, and you know, get your things in order. Um, so where are you kind of at with volleyball right now? I think that's out of season at this point, right? Or do you kind of play year round?
I play all year round because I
Okay,
play for school and then I also play for club. And
fair.
it's going pretty well. I made a year up, so I'm supposed to be on a 15s team, but I made a
Yeah,
16s team, which is
nice,
very fun because I'm on a team with one of my best friends.
nice.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the season. I'm actually playing in Wisconsin. So,
Oh, nice,
so yeah.
nice. That's really cool. It's I wasn't sure because like I remember like in high school, like volleyball was you had like I think that was like a fall sport in high school or whatever, but then like the really good athletes were like seemed to always be playing, so I didn't know if that was like a school thing, a club thing, or you know like whatever. So
Yeah, it's kind of bold.
right, right, right. So kind of moving forward, you got your current song out now. If people want to check it out, we'll have the Spotify link in the description below, all that fun stuff. Yet is the name of the new song, and then you'll have your new next song coming out in, I guess, just about a month. Is Valentine's Day like a month away?
I'd say so, yeah. A little bit under.
A little bit
Just
under.
by one day.
I was like, wait a minute, when is Valentine's Day? Oh, it's the 14th. Okay, yeah, it
Yeah.
tracks. So, you got your new song coming out in about a month. So that's got to be exciting, getting the fourth one out there. And you'd mentioned that you put a video out. How's that? Is that something that you've used, like specifically chose to try and do, is getting like content out to support it, or is that coming from like your family or Nicole? Like, where's that kind of coming from?
Well, I think it's coming from Nicole and
Yeah,
my mom.
yeah,
Um, I I am a night person, but I like falling asleep before like 10, and
yeah.
then my mom will wake me up at 11 and be like, "Your song's out, let's do the video." I'll be like, "Let me go back to bed." But I'll end up doing it
Fair,
anyways.
fair.
But yeah, I'd say it's like a Miss Nicole and my mom, but
Nice.
I enjoy doing it. I like
Fair.
everything music.
Nice, nice. And I'm guessing you're doing like a live stream or something. Is that kind of what you're doing?
Well, I'm just recording me saying like, "Hey Alexa, play Yet by Liv" or something like
Yeah.
that. And she'll play it, and then the video will pan right back over to me. And I'll be like, "Yet's out now. Go stream it on
Go.
a platform."
Nice, nice. I like the way you snuck it in there because I remember like when Alexa first came out and it was like the biggest thing in the world, there was always commercials coming out that said, "Hey Alexa, order this." And it was like, like whatever they were trying to promote.
Yeah.
And like that became like a huge problem because people were getting stuck ordering like certain things. And it's like, I don't
Yeah.
want so yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think the common one was, "Hey Alexa, add this to the shopping list" or something. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it's, I was like, cool. I like the kind of way you snuck that in there to like be like, hey, let's try and trigger some people's Alexas. Let's go for
Sorry,
it.
everyone's Alexa. I triggered, not my intention.
Right, right, right. So you said you're kind of slowing the shows a little bit, but hopefully you'll get an opportunity to go. Do you play primarily in Chicago, or do you wait till you go down to Nashville to kind of play
Um,
shows?
At the moment, I have only performed in like my area.
Yeah,
I actually haven't performed in Nashville yet, but my team and I are trying to find a time and place for me to come down and perform in Nashville, and I'm looking
nice.
forward to that.
Nice, nice. Nashville's always got the opportunity to do it. It's like, you know, whether it's Brickshore doing their mixers that they do, just kind of all the different all the writers rounds, and like I think the biggest hurdle for you is going to be the age gap because I don't know like what the restrictions are as far as like letting you into bars and stuff like that. So having grown up in Chicago, I know the restrictions there. It's like
Yeah,
it is what it is, but you know, that was also some years ago, so I don't know if it's changed in the last 20 years. So
I
yeah.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, fair, fair, fair. So if anybody wants to check out your music, any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you? Social media, Spotify, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks for asking. You can go to my website, livehatfieldmusic.com, and up in the right-hand corner, you'll find my socials, and you can follow those. Um, and you can find my music on any streaming platform of your choosing. So you don't gotta be picky.
Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute blast chatting with you. I hope we get a chance to sit down again very soon, and get to talk about, the growth. Like, I love talking to musicians, especially when they're so fresh and young in the industry. It's like, just wait like 2 years and see where they're at. And just
Yeah,
like that growth over 2 years is going to be amazing.
yeah,
So, uh, one thing I want to do here before we wrap this up, though, is we like to pass on advice to young musicians. So, what's a piece of advice that you have for a musician that's maybe in a similar situation you were a year ago, 2 years ago, that maybe wants to get into the industry but doesn't know where to start or is a little nervous about getting into it?
yeah. I would have to say, don't give up on your dreams because there's always a possibility if you put your mind to it. And just get yourself out there into your community, and you'll never know who you'll meet. and just have hope and it'll work out.
Nice. That's awesome. Really appreciate your time. And that answer was everything I was hoping it to be. You know, like whenever I ask that question, I'm always a little nervous because it's like, oh, it could very easily be like the same answer every time, but it
Right.
never is. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So, um, but once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast chatting with you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Live and Amplified's Indie Fusion podcast. If you'd like to support anything Live and Amplified does, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Live, the letter N, Amplified. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, any of them, all of them, at Live, the letter N, Amplified. And if you would like to buy any official Live and Amplified merch, you can do so at our merch shop, link in the description below. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.